Hey everybody, I'm Nick Griffin here, and welcome back to 7 Billion Humans. We're going on to important email organization. Alright, so, we briefly touched on this one, excuse me, last time, and we figured out kind of what we need to do. Oh good, this is still here. So, the whole thing is that we need to get all of these sorted into the right shredders, which is relatively easy. The hardest part is going to be making sure that we get everything here. And that's the difficult part. So, that's really what I'm worried about, personally. So if we pick up the labels here, they explode, bad things happen. We've already kind of gone over how dividing by 10 is going to store the tens place to memory, and not the ones place, because we can't actually store any decimals. We can only store whole numbers. And that's fine. But the problem is we don't actually have a good way to progress through these things. So the idea that I had, that we started with, was that we're going to just step down until we find one of these, until we find our first number. So we step down. If we're on a data cube, we are going to if we're on a data cube, pick it up, calculate it, divided by 10. Which is good. And then we are going to step down. If below us is a shredder... Here, I'm going to throw the rest of this out, just for now. If below us is a shredder, we want to... So there's three cases here. If below us is a shredder, and this is equal to my item, or not my item, it's memory 2. Actually, we should just make this memory 1. Because that's where we're storing it. So if we are on the number that we want, we're going to jump out. This might not be the most efficient way to do it, but for now that's how we're going to memorize it. If what's on it is greater than memory 1, we are going to step left . Otherwise, we are going to step right, and either way, okay, this is slightly wrong. I didn't want to do this. We have to nest all of this. So if below us is a shredder, okay, so so we step down. If below us is a shredder, actually what we should do, if below us is not a shredder, if below us doesn't equal a shredder, we go down. Because if we pick up a number and only start walking down, we'll never not have a shredder below us. So I'm not worried about that. I'm just trying to preserve all our if statements here. Alright. So actually what we should do... Alright, so if... So if it's not equal to shredder, we're just going to keep looping and keep stepping. So, but if there is a shredder below us, we then fall into this. So it is less likely that this is the case, so we want this to be last. Alright, so if we've stepped down until we're above a shredder, so we're somewhere on this row. So if where we are is greater than our memory, so if we have a 6 and we're here, then we need to step left. If not, if where is less than, we need to step right. Else and if we get out of this loop, we jump back to here. Because we just need to keep checking. So here, we're going to give to below us. Okay, so, oh, I've made mistakes. Crap. I don't want this nested in an if. It saves us a jump if this isn't nested in an if. I can make it happen. Just gonna take a little bit of effort. I keep trying to grab the wrong part. So if we're not sitting on a data cube, we're going to keep moving down until we do. Then we pick it up, we calculate, and we do everything that we just did, which is beautiful. All right, so if, and right now this is if we are. This is probably going to all move into this else in a bit, but for now I'm building it out here just for my sanity. If we're one instruction off, then we know how to do it. So we give it to the shredder. Which is fine, but then we step up if it doesn't equal a data cube. We do that. So we're then going to then walk all the way up until we hit a data cube. And then, if that succeeds, we do this. Here's the problem. This might work, but it's going to be reliant on these panning out, which I feel like is not going to work. So let's watch. Let's see if this will actually work for a couple. So sure, we'll watch Emma. So she steps down. It does equal data cube, so she doesn't. So she picks it up. She calculates it's a 39, so in memory goes to be a 3. She steps down, and she's going to keep doing so until below her is a shredder, and it is. So if where she is greater than memory 1, which it is, so she's, or sorry, it's not. So she's going to hit the else. If where she is greater, then she's going to step right. Okay. Alright, so she's on to giving it. So far this is working. But here's the problem. The problem is going to be if one of these hits a wall. Because we can watch, and they're actually... It looks like this code works. But see, now he's hitting a wall. Alright. And as you can see, we've got a problem. So, we do have to come up with a position. Jump. If above is a wall, randomly step in a direction, and then it starts this loop. Here's the problem. People can get stuck on the edges. So, sadly, we need to add extra defense in here. So we can say, if below equals a wall, step randomly, and then it's going to jump back to here, which then has the defense. So if it chooses to step wrongly over here, it'll be okay. So we're going to see this in action here pretty shortly. So he stepped randomly, and it worked. Oh, dang. Okay, if where you are... So if below you is a shredder, and you're trying to pick up, you need to come here. And step up. Yeah, I forgot about that defense. That defensive coding. There's way too many lines of code here. The fewest lines of code are going to be random movement. That also wasn't particularly fast. Wow, we actually had failures. They timed out is what happened. Okay, so they gave us a failing solution, which is really good, because I want to see what went wrong. See, this doesn't fail, it just times out. And I'm curious. Oh God. I can see why it timed out. Okay, so there's a dumb way to do this. And by a dumb way to do this, I mean a way that I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do. Mostly because I think it's easier. But we're going to be keeping some of this code, mostly this code. This will eventually finish. It's just, they basically have to win coin flips. I could make this a lot faster. Not really, actually. Okay, there we go. That's good to know. It does actually freak out. Okay, so all these defensive things just take a lot of extra code. We are going to want this. We are going to want this. We are going to want all of this. Alright, so here's the dumb part. Set. Or, no, we don't want set. We want nearest. Mem1 equals nearest wall. I've been waiting to use this. Mem2 equals nearest data cube. So we say pick up mem2 So really what we want to do is we want step to mem2. If below you is not a shredder, then you can pick it up. Then we do some calculation, and we'll store this in mem3. I'm going to have to fix that also down here. So then you step down, and then when you give it, you then jump. Well, not quite yes, or not quite yet. After you give to that, you step to mem1, the nearest wall, which was set right here. So they'll basically go back to this configuration. And then they'll search for the nearest data cube. What's weird is they go to mem2. So if for whatever reason they step to mem2 and there is a shredder there, meaning that the nearest data cube is there, we need to actually do this. Go to mem1 and do that. I have no idea if this is going to work. We are remembering a wall. I don't know if this is going to work. I want this to work. So that's the nearest cube. They do a bunch of math. $18 lines of code. I can actually make this faster. Well, we'll see if this works even. Okay, we're watching you now because you're Giving it to you. You go to your closest wall. Alright, some people died. Oh shoot, I wanted to pause. It was the old guy. He died. Oh. Hey, it can happen. Okay, so if Bully is not a shredder and where you are doesn't equal nothing, pick up. So if you are somewhere where there's nothing, if you've got somewhere that already got taken, then you jump here, you go back to your wall, and you reset. That was significantly faster. But not quite fast enough. So, okay, I think I know how to get both solutions, but I have to get them from this setup. I have to do two different things. So I think the first one is when it comes to reducing things, the first thing that we do is we set everybody's closest shredder in Mem4. So instead of stepping down until it's not a shredder, we step to Mem4. Oh, that actually only saved us one instruction. Darn, that doesn't save us any either. So I think if we swap this up, we might be able to make this work better. No, I don't think we can avoid the jumps. Do I need this extra defense? I just need to invert this. If we use a shredder, there's nothing. You go back to here. Yeah. The else is counting as an instruction sucks, but otherwise it'd be too easy to optimize things in weird ways because the else here is actually really important. Because otherwise we could else things. You can reorganize this, I think, so we save an instruction, which I think is exactly what I need. Does this even work? This should work. One too many. We're really close. Like, we're really close. So how do we remove one instruction? I think we might be able to do it by optimizing this. So if instead of this, so let's actually do this. So you are now standing in front of a shredder. If it is mem3, give it to it and go back there. Else, now we don't need the else here. If where you are is greater than mem3, yeah, I think we got it. I might have this wrong though. Else step. So if where you are is greater than what you're, so if you're here and it's greater, yeah, you want to step left. So this should work. By removing one else, we let this happen better. So we got that, and this is still off, and that's fine. I don't think we can actually use this to optimize, because what we basically need to do is instead of stepping to mem1, we just need to have them all step to the middle of the room. Oops. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for safekeeping. And this is why we couldn't do this and also optimize the number of instructions. Because going all the way back to their closest wall is a lot further every time. And going to the middle here, technically here, arguably, even the only time this goes awry horribly is if you're here and there's nothing here except for over here. In which case the closest will be this, but you won't pick it up. Instead you'll just keep this infinite loop. So hopefully nobody dies here, but this should go a lot faster because there's less people running all over the place. Although there are places where it could fail. Damn. So here's where we could do this. That way they can spread out. We're using a little bit of randomness here, which I'm generally not a fan of. We got it. And I think overall that's faster, but obviously more instructions. Look at that. Got it. Unique fashion party. Oh, we're at 30 minutes. Crap. So this is the end of the episode, but we're going to take a quick peek at this one. It's party night. Everyone please pick up your fashionable data cube. You'll each find one directly below you and come over here with your fancy party room. Talk about your pets. Okay, what's that? Someone showed up with the same fashionable data cube as you? Yes, well there can be only one. So anyone with a sloppy redundant value must jump with their cube onto one of the convenient holes in the floor. Each worker must pick up their cube and go to the party room. But only one of each cube may remain along with the lucky worker holding those cubes. Anyone holding a redundant value must dive with their cube into an exit hole. Cubes are values in the range 0 to 6 inclusive. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Interesting. This definitely posits an interesting problem. So, we'll tackle this one next time. But until then, keep your gears turning.